What's up YouTube? I'm Joe, you're watching my channel Ink&Iron. Back today with a review, well, a little bit of a comparison between two mini multi-tools here. The Gerber Dime on the left and the Leatherman Squirt PS4 model on the right there. Got the Dime in the purple and black finish, and I've got the Squirt in the, I don't know what they call this, like a powder blue or something like that. And I'm holding them in my hands because when I put them down on this black mat and then move my hands out, it overexposes. But anyway, someone in my comments section the other day, I was talking about these two tools. I think it might have been the Dime initial impressions or something. It was like, you can't compare it to the Squirt because they're different sizes. And I was like, no, they're not. As you can see, these two mini tools are very close in size, including thickness. I think the Dime is a little bit thicker, and maybe this person's perceptions were thrown off because of the bottle opener, dedicated bottle opener on here. But if you take that out of the equation, these tools are nearly the same size. So I think this is a completely fair comparison. And for their purpose, you know, their EDC use, they are extremely similar. So let's get these next to a Leatherman Wave Plus, and you can tell just how petite these actually are. They will work pretty easily on, well, even a keychain. This is maybe a little bit upper end of what you want on a keychain. You could put them in a purse, you could put them in the coin pocket on your jeans, something like that. Very easily portable. So first off, I want to get a weight comparison. The Gerber Dime in grams, 67.65 grams. The Leatherman Squirt PS4 in grams, 56.79 grams. The Gerber Dime in ounces, 2.387 ounces. The Leatherman Squirt in ounces, 2.003 ounces, almost 2 ounces on the nose. These tools are very reasonably sized, with the Gerber Dime only being about 10 grams heavier than the Leatherman Squirt PS4. Let's get a look at the pliers, because they both are plier-based tools, and they are both spring-loaded, which makes using them a little bit easier, especially in this form factor here. If I close them up and put them next to each other, yeah, they are just about the same size, including the plier heads, which is interesting. When we get to the scissors comparison, I want you to see something. But so let's take a look at the mechanism of the plier head here on the Leatherman. You can see there's like a little tab here and a little tab here. They are interacting with one of the back springs, like some back springs here on the tool, and that is what actually gives it its leverage to open. On the Gerber Dime, we have a slightly different system here. I don't think that there is a spring associated with these, because you can see this little wire, it looks like, little stick running through there in that channel. I think that's actually like a spring. So I believe the spring action here on the Dime is powered by that, rather than being attached to a back spring. I don't know for sure. If you know better than me, you're more of an engineer about this kind of thing, drop me a comment. That's just sort of an observation, not really a functional difference between the two. I do find that the Gerber Dime feels springier, like the spring is faster when it opens. It opens more readily, but they are both equally usable. In terms of the plier heads, I mean, they are as similar as it gets. Really, the only difference is the Gerber Dime has sort of a little tip on it for the very end of the plier heads here, whereas the Leatherman is flattened off. Yeah, both are very functional. Both have tiny little nut turning areas in here. You can see the Leatherman has sort of an almond or a spear point kind of cut out. This one's more of an almond or a lentil shape on the Gerber Dime here. I don't think it's going to make much difference. Neither one of these can take particularly large bolts and turn them, or nuts and turn them, so you know, you're going to get light duty out of each of these. They both have a soft wire cutter here down at the bottom. Neither one bears a hard wire cutter, and I think that's perfectly appropriate for tools that are this small of a form factor here. Neither one has tools on the inside, which I greatly appreciate, especially if you're going to use these as like keychain tools. You really want everything accessible when it's folded up like this. By the way, the colors on these, both of these models are available in various colors, so you can really mix and match and you know, get a very matchy everyday carry set up if you like that kind of thing. So external tools, let's start with the basic one, the knife. The Leatherman Squirt there has a very traditional knife shape. The Gerber Dime goes for a little bit different here, a little bit shorter blade on the Gerber Dime. It is also a sheep's foot, so not a very prominent tip here. The Leatherman, it's a full flat ground blade with a drop point, and yeah, you know, pretty average looking, like a mini kitchen knife basically. Sorry, the exposure is getting a little wild there. The Gerber Dime is a saber grind. You might be able to tell from the light glinting off of there. It's not particularly slicey, but it works for what it is. You can see I just kind of put like a steep bevel on there to get a really nice fine cutting edge on there. I think this knife is a little bit slicier on the Leatherman Squirt. I don't know the blade steel on either of these. It's not particularly great because it is just a tiny utility knife. So I don't expect incredible performance out of either of these. These are kind of backups here. We'll talk about that tool later. Let's get a look at the scissors, because this is something I wanted to point out in this video because I find this interesting. Oh God, I have so many tools, guys. It is hard to remember where all the tools are on all these multi-tools. Do these scissors look, you know, like perfect reflections of each other to you? Because that's what they look like to me. There's a slight difference in the, you know, little sprung handle here. But honestly, I'm not sure who's copying who here, because these designs are remarkably similar. If I had to guess, Gerber's copying Leatherman. I think the Squirt has been around longer than the Dime. And the Dime is a lower price point, so you know, I could see them co-opting a design that gives them higher value. There's a little, you know, over travel stop, if you will, for these scissors on here, whereas the Juice ones spring all the way out. I actually prefer when a scissor can open up like this, because if you have to resharpen it, you can, you know, get access to both of these blades on here, whereas the Dime, you know, when I have to resharpen it, I have to just do it like this in this narrow scissor opening. So there you go. In terms of performance, I haven't put these through very much at all. You know, got to cut paper, cut threads, no problem. Little basic stuff that you might use on a keychain tool, not a problem. Don't ask me about hard use. I have not hard used either of these sets of scissors here. And honestly, for the form factor, I don't really find it appropriate to try and hard use. Okay, both of these have little driver sets on them, so let's pull these out. Nope. Sorry, the tools are laid out differently. It gets confusing. I forget where stuff is. They both have a Phillips driver on there. The Gerber Dime does this really stupid thing that I don't like, which is put a tiny file on this tiny little Phillips driver. Honestly, this file is about as dumb as they come. Like, there's no length on it, and also in full extension, it's right next to the bottle opener and the key ring. So if you're trying to like file even your nails, like as soon as you move, you're off the file. So I don't know who this file is for. I think it's literally just so they could add file onto the packaging and call it an extra tool. Pretty pathetic. The Phillips head is fine. It is maybe slightly larger than the Leatherman offering. Both are very, very light duty Phillips head drivers. To use either of these Phillips heads properly, you want to fully extend them and then open up the handles of the tool here. I prefer to have the plier head on the lower side. Let's just close this other driver. So now you have almost like a full-sized Phillips head driver, you know, sort of screwdriver mode, if you will. That's definitely the best way to grip both of these. By the way, the file doesn't really improve when you do that because it's still crowded by the key ring and the nubbin that keeps the key ring in place on the Gerber Dime there. They both have flathead drivers as well. I think Leatherman does it a little bit better for me here. just because they also added a bottle opener on there. I like a dual function tool that doesn't mess up the function of either tool. That's pretty nice. Although, bottle opener on the Gerber, vastly superior to this little tab bottle opener here on the Leatherman Squirt. So, you know, it depends on your preferences, depends on what you're doing. I do like that the bottle opener on the Dime is accessible immediately. You know, you pull it out, pop your bottle open, and get on with your night. So, kind of interesting specialty tool offerings on both of these. They really went in divergent directions here. So, on the Leatherman Squirt, we have a decent file. Like, this is pretty nice. It's about half a finger length maybe, for me anyway. We're about a medium-sized glove. It does have a double cut pattern on one side. It even has a small edge file there. So if you had to cut like some small brad nails or something like that, you could probably do it. Maybe some wire, you know, make your way and notch some wood. I think that would be a reasonable ask for this tiny file, but not much more than that. And then there's a single cut on this side, but really the length, the fact that there's no holes in it, and the quality of, you know, these file teeth on here is very good. And I like it for, you know, filing my nails. It does have the little scissors, and then you can file your nails down with this, and then you know, keep rolling on with your day. So I do like the file offering from the Leatherman Squirt. The Gerber Dime went in a different direction with its sort of outboard specialty tool. This is a package opener, and this is actually one of the better package openers available on any multi-tool, really. I'm trying to think. The Leatherman Wingman, which is like a full-sized offering from Leatherman, has a dedicated package opener, but this one's really no slouch. It is just the tip of it that is beveled here. It has a decent edge. It's not ferociously sharp, but because of the way it's ground into the end of this metal here, it very easily slides across packaging and then like digs in and pulls out. So any of that bubble packaging, any of that clamshell packaging that things come in these days, this is an extremely handy tool for that. So do like that quite a bit. Keeps your other blades nice and sharp. You don't have to mess around, monkey around, and get your scissors in a weird position to open stuff up. Just go ahead and use the package opener. One of the last things we need to talk about here is the lanyard ring. As I mentioned earlier, there is a solid extension of one of the steel liners here that holds the lanyard ring in place on the Gerber Dime. So it is sort of in the way all the time. Even if you take off the ring, there is this sort of little nub here. It's okay. It'll fit on your keys. It's not an issue. Yeah, I don't really use it. The Leatherman Squirt is a little bit different situation here. It is tucked down away past the knife blade, so we're going to have to try and fish it out here. Well, hello, Mia. There we go. It's not held in particularly securely on the Leatherman Squirt. You can see it moves rather freely, and it also centers up nicely on the tool, so that's not so bad. I don't know long-term durability-wise whether this mobile version is less durable than a fixed version like on the Gerber Dime, but I think both of them will, you know, get these attached to your keys or on a neck lanyard or something like that with no issue. And one final tool to mention on the Gerber Dime, it actually has a pair of tweezers. Can you see these? They are not quite Victorinox tweezers. They are cut at an angle. They are a little bit, you know, hi Mia, hello, my cat. Okay, you're interrupting. These tweezers are okay. They're a little bit sharp. They kind of cut hairs on occasion rather than, you know, grab them and pluck them out. So they're all right. They might need a little bit of modification, and they are very low profile, so they don't really get in the way. And they tuck in right here next to the bottle opener. Oh geez, Mia. Oh God, Mia, stop. Okay, now that Mia is done interrupting me, let's talk price point. The Gerber Dime here in October of 2022 is about $25 USD, and the Leatherman Squirt PS4, specifically this model, is worth about $40 USD. So it's going to depend on where you live. I think the Dime gets a little more expensive as you go overseas. Possibly the Squirt too, but I think it's around, you know, 40 euro or something like that in Europe. I'm not sure. Make sure you check your local suppliers and you know, your nearby websites that can ship these things to you. Granted that it's legal in your jurisdiction to own these things. So yeah, I think they're pretty competitive. The Dime does represent a savings, but the Leatherman does come with a 25-year warranty, so you know, there's plenty of stuff to juggle here. So yeah, there you go. There's our little comparison between the Leatherman Squirt PS4 and the Gerber Dime. I think they are vastly comparable. I think they are basically the same size. Like, take a look at the thickness here, right? They're really close. So I do think it's a fair comparison. Whoever commented that the other day, get these two next to each other, you'll see what I mean. Anyway, thank you for joining me for this video. I've been Joe. You've been watching Ink&Iron. For more multi-tool content, as well as like other EDC gear, I do knives, I do fountain pens, which I don't have one nearby. I do other multi-tools, typewriters sometimes. Like, sub, do the things, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.